Hello, so we're going to have another quick look at the most recent version. We've made a few more modifications this weekend. So for example, in monocular suppression, we now have random sequences of sprites, which you can basically as developer define at will. They start off very small and dim, like in this case with the right eye, the rocket. Let's make it a bit more bright. We can also make it different sizes by bringing it closer or further away. So we can really check, has the participant really been able to see it or not? Because each time we choose an eye, if we choose the right eye again, we have a random selection.
Right eye active.
Let's have a look to the left eye.
Left eye active.
There's a football.
30%
And we can see and experiment at which sizes and with which luminosities these things are really visible. So if that works out, then we can move on to the binocular suppression stage.
Binocular suppression.
In the binocular suppression, we're interested in finding out if the eyes work together. So, can the participant see the triangles pointing left and pointing right? If they can't, then they should look up and down, which changes the relative luminosity of them, which can actually break suppression. So this has worked in our user testing with people with strabismus, where, for example, if their right eye is suppressed, even while it's suppressed, they can decrease the luminosity to the left eye and increase it to the right eye and find a point where they're perceiving both. Now what's more common is that the suppression is happening because of the conflict cells being triggered. So when the two eyes, particularly the coordinated retinal cells at the back, think they're seeing different things, the conflict cells or neurons fire, which then causes the suppression through the eye dominant cells. What we can do is we can force the situation by putting the eyes into conflict. So this looks like a terrible overlapping mess. And even here, definitely in conflict, definitely in suppression, where suddenly they only see either arrows going to the left or to the right, we can find some balance where the suppression is broken. So this is something we keep throughout the rest of the tests and experiments, so we can keep breaking suppression.
Binocular suppression. Binocular misalignment measurement.
So let's move on to misalignment measurement. We've updated...
Choose the strabismic eye with a long left or right click.
We've updated the fixation objects to make it much more obvious when they are overlapping. So if your eyes are straight right now, the cyan and the yellow circles seem to be overlapping, and you're actually getting impossible colours. You're getting an impossible mixture of black and cyan and black and yellow, which is very obvious. If your eyes are misaligned, they're apart from each other, and you see very clearly a block of cyan, a block of yellow, just a plain, solid half block. So if I choose the right eye with the controller,
right eye is strabismic.
so I can move the eye around until I find that the two are overlapping. Let's say here, if I was right eye exotropic, I beg your pardon. And we'll remember this setting as well. But for now, I'll bring them, center them again, because for the sake of this demonstration, it's better that way.
Binocular suppression. Binocular suppression. Misalignment measurement. Diamond depth perception.
Now we can move on to the depth perception. And we can see, with this classical test, which of the following circles are furthest away from the diamond, are closest towards you. And we've got another couple of cues here to help you as a practitioner find out if they're seeing monocularly or binocularly. If they're seeing the yellow arrow pointing to the left and the cyan arrow pointing to the right, then you know that they're seeing this with both eyes simultaneously. So we can go up.
Correct.
It's a random one each time, and each time the difference gets smaller and smaller.
Next. False. Next.
Well, I'm not getting these right.
Correct. Next. Correct. Next. Correct. Next. False. Next.
So they get harder and harder. You can have false positives. I'll just do some random clicking here.
False. 5 and 10 correct.
And it'll report to you how many were correct.
Monocular suppression.
So, do they have depth perception? Yes or no? That takes into account the eye misalignment and the binocular suppression. So if we have a high ratio of suppression and we have eye misalignment, it will for each eye it will appear in the right position and at the right luminance.
Misalignment measurement. Diamond alternating fusion.
Now this one's quite interesting, but there hasn't been a major change. The alternating fusion is for alternating strabism, people with alternating strabism. It starts off now totally stably, so you can see, again, are they seeing monocularly or binocularly? And we can increase the rate of alternation.
4 hertz.
We can try to force them to change their fixing eye, which, because it takes time for the suppressed eye to fall away, means that with a more rapid switching, both eyes effectively stay straight.
5, 6 hertz.
We can also force a conflict situation, which is what we want, if that isn't
conflict.
working, by introducing a conflicting background by just pressing up on the controller. So, and finally,
monocular suppression. Eye straightening.
we get to the eye straightening part, which now uses the same fixation object as in misalignment measurement.
Diamond depth perception. Misalignment measurement.
So if we go back into misalignment measurement, and we actually do set
Choose the strabismic eye with a long left or right click. Right eye strabismic.
a large angle of deflection, a sort of 30 degree, like this.
Monocular suppression.
And we go back to the eye straightening. For the strabismic person, these will now appear perfectly aligned if they're exotropic with the right eye. And as we click go, very slowly, very gradually, we start straightening the actual objects, which forces them to try to maintain fusion. So they're actually practicing maintaining fusion, which means straightening their eyes. And this is something they can practice again and again and again. And it measures for how long
best angle.
they could manage this, actually how far they could go in that session, the best run they had at managing to maintain and hold fusion despite straightening, and just pressing OK starts the procedure again. So these are the initial tests and calibrations that come out of the box. This is open source software. It's possible to adapt this, extend this, change this. This belongs to everybody. Thank you.